Welcome to the Tippah County Development Foundation Halftime Show, featuring the leaders of the North and South Tippah School Districts. Development Foundation Director Chris Llewellyn knows that moving forward together starts with our students and their school leaders. Find out how you can be a part of Tippah County moving forward together at tippahcounty.org.
Hey everybody, this is Melinda. Welcome to the Tippah County Development Foundation's halftime show where we're moving forward together. I hope you guys are enjoying the game so far. Today in Sun Bear Studio, I have with me award-winning principal Buck Buchanan from Ripley High School. Mr. Buchanan, thank you so much for coming in today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Now, this award, man, you guys didn't actually win an award. You are, though, fourth in the state on the accountability rating schedule, which is like completely amazing.
It is. It's phenomenal, really. It is to be ranked number 4 in the state on the accountability model. Just a testament of the community, the hard work by the staff, the students, and teachers at Ripley High School.
I only bring that out first because it just happened, like, what, a week ago?
Yeah, the ratings just came out last Thursday, actually. We knew our number probably about a month ago, but we had no idea we were going to be the 4th-ranked school in the state. But the numbers have been embargoed until just recently, so they are out, and everybody knows, so it's something we can celebrate now.
All right, so let's now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about you just a little bit. Tell me and tell everybody listening a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you were before Ripley, and what it's been for you being here in Ripley. Like how many years, what all jobs you had while you were here.
Okay. I am, I'm originally from New Albany. This is my 17th year, I believe, in education. I started out in Charleston, Mississippi, and I was there for 1 year, and I was in Lee County at Shannon High School for 4 years, and I taught and coached football at those 2 schools. And then this is actually my 12th year at Ripley High School, so it's a long time. But anyway, I've enjoyed every minute of it. I really have. I started out at Ripley High School as a government and economics teacher. I was the defense coordinator my first year there for the football team. The next year, I became the assistant principal. I did that for 1 year. They broke me in for 1 year, and after that, I was fortunate enough to be hired as the principal, and this is my 10th year as principal.
That's
Ripley High School.
Really hard to imagine that it's been that long.
It is.
You have really just grown up here. I mean, don't you think you were like a different person when you got here?
Yeah, I was young, probably had no idea what I was doing, and that's one of the things, when I was fortunate enough to get the job, I knew exactly who I wanted to hire, and it was Miss Anita Hood. She's my assistant principal there at Ripley High School. She does an excellent job. I had the privilege to go in and observe her as a teacher in her classroom, and I knew, hey, if we can do that all across the school and all of our classrooms, it's going to be pretty special here at Ripley High School. And luckily, she had just gotten her administration. She'd just gotten her degree. She hadn't taken her test yet, but I went down and told her, hey, you need to go ahead and take your exam because you'd be a great administrator.
Let's talk about that a little bit because you're talking to people across Northeast Mississippi who are listening to this interview right now. And in school or out of school, it's really important to hire people who you can trust, to hire people who, and you always joke and say she's smarter than you. Yep. It's a different kind of smart. Y'all are both real different kinds of smart. And to know the kind of smart that you aren't and go get that and not be intimidated by that, I want you to talk about the courage that it takes to surround yourself by people who are awesome and to make yourself more awesome by them.
Right. Well, I think it's very important to hire really smart people around you. And what I saw when I went in her classroom is she had structure, she had discipline, and she had accountability. And I like to joke with her all the time. It was kind of organized chaos because she had group work going on, and there was a lot of talking and moving, but every student was held accountable, and they knew what they were doing. And she did something at the end of every class where they had either had an objective or they had whatever they were working on, and they had to get the correct answer and make sure that they let her know before they left that class. And I just think that accountability is very important. We've been together 10 years, but we talk all the time. The core group of teachers have stayed with us the whole entire time we've been at Ripley High School. So we've never had just a tremendous amount of turnover. We've had those years where we've hired 3 or 4 people, but usually as coaches, it's not our teachers. And so we're very proud of that. We feel like we have a really good environment there to make those teachers want to stay. And I'm going to name a couple of those teachers if you don't mind, Melinda, but Miss Huddleston and Miss Brannon, Miss Owen, Miss Vaughn, Miss Ralph, Miss Briscoe, Mr. Bullock, and Mr. Wilson and Miss Hamilton. Those are teachers that come to my mind that have been with us from the beginning. They are willing to make the sacrifices needed for the betterment of the school and for the kids, and they understand the purpose of teaching, and they understand the decisions we make. We try to do what's best for the kids, and they have totally bought in, and that's why we have, I tell people all the time, the best staff in the state.
That is really an A team.
It is.
That's some great names. Each name that you just said, those are teachers who are in their own right A team teachers.
Yeah, they really are.
Well, let's talk about A. Since we're on an A thing, let's talk about, I think there are 3 very important A's in a high school: academics, athletics, and the arts. Yeah. And you guys have all 3.
Yes, we do.
So can we talk about all 3 of those a little bit,
sure,
of the things you have going on? Let's start with athletics.
Okay. Right now, we've just hired, and when I talk about a core group of teachers, they've stayed, but we've been able to put some pieces around us. So this year is, Katie Hobson's first year back at Ripley High School, and she is our athletic director there at Ripley High School. She's done a phenomenal job. I knew in hiring her, she was a winner, obviously, but you never know what you're going to get in the classroom. She wants to do everything the absolute correct way. It doesn't matter what she does, and that speaks volumes about her character. She's hit the ground running. She's doing a great job. I don't know if y'all have heard, but in the spring, our golf team won the state championship. Well, they have now moved that to the fall, so we look poised and in position to make another deep run, quite possibly win the state championship again this fall. We have everybody back on the golf team. Our volleyball team this fall, direction of Coach Booth, I think that we've already been penciled in to make the playoffs, and this will be the first time we've made the playoffs in like 7 or 8 years there at Ripley High School. And then I'm sure everybody's heard, football team is 6-0. So she's made a tremendous impact, already just being at Ripley High School a few months. Coach Lyles and Coach White and those guys have done an absolute fabulous job with our football team. So, we're very proud of our athletics, very proud of Ripley High School, and it's a really good place to be right now.
Let's switch over to academics. Tell me what's awesome at Ripley.
Well, of course, you've already hit on it, but that number 4 ranking, you look at your data when you get your kids in high school from the 8th grade, and you try to grow those kids as much as you can. But it's very important to put the students in a position to be successful with the teacher that's going to make the biggest impact. So, Miss Hood does a phenomenal job with that. Miss Stroop works on those schedules all throughout the summer. So that's something we take very seriously. But we look at growing our kids. We've been able to do that. We've had a lot of success. We have had a few math teachers that have left over the years, but hey, that was, and you mentioned it, Miss Hood was the ace in the hole when she was teaching math. Well, now she's in administration, and she's been able to have an impact on some new math teachers that we hired. We hired a couple teachers last year, and just in our lowest quartile, lowest 25%, I think we had growth of 108%, and then growth overall was like 114%. But those were the two numbers, but we might have them backwards. And when you're looking at that amount of growth over those two areas, and I think our proficiency was like right at 90%, which is phenomenal. So we're just having a lot of success with what we're doing and putting the kids in the places where they can be successful.
And you mentioned Miss Stroop earlier. I want to expand on that and say that is Miss Leslie Goolsby Stroop, who is your high school counselor.
That's correct. Miss Stroop is my high school counselor. This is her third year, I believe, at Ripley High School. She does a phenomenal job. Melinda, to be successful in a high school, you have to have good administration. You have to have good teachers. You have to have a good office manager, but you better have a good counselor. And she does a tremendous job, as a counselor there at Ripley High School. She does everything she's supposed to do as far as enrolling kids, schedules, emphasis, all of that stuff. But she's really good with setting goals and having competitions for our kids. We have mentor groups every month. Her and Miss Hood kind of structure that, and they always have a competition. But not only is she good at that, she also pulls the kids in and spends time with them. We have, a certain number of kids that need to talk to somebody or need for somebody to, know that they care about them, be involved in their life. And she does a great job with that, getting those kids to open up and spending time with them.
Let's roll over to arts now. I mean, my goodness, the band, choir, theater. Let's see, what did I leave out? Oh, the art class. Yep. You guys really have it all. So talk about that.
We do. Miss Julie Eaton is our art teacher, and she does a great job. She has Art 1 and Art 2 there, and they're constantly working and hanging stuff all over the math and science building over there. She does a great job with that. Mr. Kappelman teaches theater there, and he does a great job forming that class and getting the kids to participate. We also have choir and band, and I don't know if you know, last year our band finished 5th in the state, and they're under the direction of Mr. Bernard Hatch, and we have I believe 112 or so kids that are in our band right now, and my son Max is actually in the 7th grade, and he's in the band, and he loves Mr. Hatch. He tells me that Mr. Hatch is the coolest teacher ever, so I don't know if Mr. Hatch knows that, but according to my son, he is, and so we enjoy that. And then the music and choir, we actually have music classes that go along with our choir now, but it's the South Tippah Choir, and Miss Rutherford is in charge of that, and she has Blue Mountain kids that come and Pine Grove kids that come, and that's grown a lot over the last couple of years. But they usually do an end of the year performance and a Christmas performance and have a couple of performances, and then they'll go tour and sing at different places and in the community, and so we have a lot of kids that enjoy that.
I really just wanted everybody to just have a brief glimpse into the fact that it's not just athletics, it's not just arts, it's not just academics. You got to do it all. You have to manage it all, and that's why it's so important for you to have a great team in place, because you can't manage all that. You just line up the worms and try to get them to march in line, don't you?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the key word there is team. Having a good team of people, really good people that work hard and care about the kids. And it doesn't, as long as you have that, doesn't matter what you're focusing on. We try to focus on everything, but if we're looking at academics, we're looking at fine arts, we're looking at athletics, we're going to be successful.
Yeah, well, congratulations, Mr. Buchanan. I'm really proud of Ripley High School. I'm really thankful that we have you as a leader at that school, and I wish you the best this year and as long as you want to stay here with us.
Well, I really appreciate that. It's been a great time. I've had a good career there at Ripley High School. I have no intentions of leaving. My wife, the former Callie Horton, and we have 3 kids. She's from North Tippah. This is home to us, so we enjoy it here, and we definitely want to stay here.
Thank you so much for coming in to talk to us today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Okay, everybody, this has been the Tippah County Development Foundation's halftime show where we're moving forward together. I hope you enjoy the rest of the game.
This halftime show has been brought to you by the Tippah County Development Foundation, moving Tippah County forward together. And now we take you back to the second half of tonight's game.